Today in this video, we are going to talk about the neighborhoods in Coral Springs, Florida area. If you have decided to move to Coral Springs, South Florida, and you are kind of wondering where to live, which are the good neighborhoods and what are the pros and cons of living in those neighborhoods, that's what we are going to discuss in this video. This is Komal Acharya. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If you have been watching this video, give me thumbs up or comment me below. I would love to hear from you guys. Or if you're new to my channel, I make tons of video about Florida. So if you're looking to move here, this video could be helpful. This is one of the city we are discussing of South Florida, which is called Coral Springs. So Coral Springs is located in Broward County. Broward County is one of the very popular county of South Florida if you're looking to move here. Florida has great options to live. The cost of living wise is very affordable, even though right now in a COVID time we feel crazy. The market has been really crazy, but trust me, I went to conference last week and met a lot of agents from different states. Everywhere is the same story. So it is not just the Florida issue, it's everywhere. However, the Florida does experiencing a lot of relocations in last 2 years. And I'll tell you this, before COVID also Florida has been amazing for the relocation because it has different things to offer which kind of other states may not be offering. Like for example, we have a zero state tax. It's great for the business owners. It's a great lifestyle city, I would say. If you love beach, if you love great warm weather, you can have here. Plus a lot of advantage of having even the vacation home. So not just the residents are moving for themselves, just living there, but there are a lot of people are looking into vacation homes also in Florida. Okay, I don't want to divert myself to topic about moving to Florida, but let me just focus on right now the city called Coral Springs. And that's one of my favorite city because I live in Coral Springs, not just that reason. However, there are a lot of pros and cons of living in those neighborhoods. So let's start right now. Number one, Coral Springs neighborhoods are a lot of them with no HOA. Many people even contacted through my YouTube channels, the investors are just want to buy themselves also. One point kind of was common is the Florida HOA is a little bit higher. Yes, that's true. Even though you are investing, it's pretty much common to have a HOA between 300 to 450 in a Broward County. If you go further north in a Palm Beach County, it a little bit reduces. If you go in a Miami-Dade County, it's more higher. So having the no HOA communities are very, very, very rare in South Florida. Talking about the townhouses, it's not still there in Coral Springs with the no HOA communities, but in single family homes, yes, you can find a lot of choices. There are more than 24 neighborhoods which are no HOA communities, and those are built around 1970s, 1980s, around that time frame, and some of them even 1990s. If you check the North Spring, that's on a Westview Drive, and University, that's it's kind of very famous neighborhood. I have my own friends living there. Many pros are there than the cons living in those kind of communities. So talking about the no HOA, the main benefit is your holding cost is less. Okay, let's say you are buying for yourselves, you are going to live there, but still no HOA communities will give you great benefits, not just today but even for future also. Let me tell you how. This market is really, really crazy. As you guys know that there are a lot of meetings are happening where the gated communities are some cities which are very famous, like for example Parkland, West End, Boca has the mindset of meetings. So if you're looking there, of course there are a lot of pros there. Okay, there's no comparison of those cities versus which I'm talking right now in the neighborhoods of Coral Springs. No comparison means the lifestyle of that particular city is kind of different. So there is nothing right or wrong here, but I'm just kind of highlighting the things what you need to compare if you are not prepared for this market. So this market is a little different than pre-COVID market. So if you are not prepared to go into those meetings, if you are not prepared to kind of go into those competition of cash buyers, then Coral Springs has a tons of choices. And this house could not be maybe your dream house. It could be your first house to start your fit in South Florida. And then later on, you progress yourself to the next, another house, which is kind of your dream house. So that way you have a holding cost less. You are putting more towards the property itself, so appraisal value comes much better versus you are just investing your monthly income into your HOA. So that's one advantage of living in a no HOA. Another advantage is you can do whatever you want in those no HOA community. For example, let's say after you live a couple of years, you want to rent it out, do Airbnb, or you do whatever the rental side, you can still do it. Nobody there to tell you you can't do this. So another best benefit of right now, even though you are living in the community on this kind of no HOAs, like having the fruit trees. I heard many of my friends live in, when my clients lives in Parkland Bay, that's a brand new community in Parkland, they do not allow any fruit trees, not even a single one. Or even for vegetable plants, you do have to take a permission from them. So it's a lot of restrictions because they want to maintain their uniformity, and it's a new communities, they don't want to compromise their landscaping. And it's a little bit of bugs issue if you have more fruit trees. So kind of those things they are taking, precautions of not allowing to homeowners having those fruit trees. If you're living in Coral Springs, the majority of communities are no HOA, and at the same time they all established, even though some communities are with gated communities, especially on a Westview Drive and some of them on Semple Road, those communities are well rooted. It's been established. Many homeowners have, already planted the trees, so there is no way they can prevent you to plant the trees. So if you're loving gardening, then Coral Spring has great choices of those neighborhoods. And let me tell you this is very essential because, the South Florida weather is very, very beautiful, even though you are not used to having the gardening. But trust me, like having the fruit trees like mango trees, saputera, or custard apple, you will love it. Like you can even plant orange tree or saputella tree. There are a lot of different kinds of fruit trees you can have. Even banana, like I love bananas, like organic bananas you can have in your own backyard. So it's very interesting if you haven't explored that part, do research like what all kind of supportive in the South Florida land you can do some of the fruit trees for yourself and for your kids. Now another pro I would say is the single story houses. So in this Coral Spring neighborhoods, most of them are single story because those are built a little older, and the before builders were allowing more single story houses, and it's more like a true square foot. When there's a two-story houses, those are not true square foot because it's like they take a lower floor and then they take an upper floor. Right now in a single story, it's like whole in a one floor. You do have sometimes some people don't like the privacy. They have a privacy issue in a single story houses. But for me, as long as it's a triple split plan or double split plan, it's not bad. I mean, single story is much better. It has a better appreciation value. The reason is South Florida is famous among even senior citizens too. So you do have a target of people in a resale, the senior citizens, if you're living in single story. If you're double story, then strictly it's for the family with kids because other population may not even look at it. So that's one advantage of different layouts you can find in Coral Springs. And Coral Springs has a bunch of communities. Look at these names, like these are all the communities are in Coral Springs. So the inventory wise is pretty good too. However, in COVID time, we are experiencing inventory issue everywhere, including Coral Springs. And that's why the price has been bumped up. Many people question like, should I just buy this old house with like that higher per square foot? But see, if you analyze the market, you will understand the newer houses are going crazy. If you're ready to go in those bidding wars, if you're ready to kind of put your step ahead with that mindset, then it's okay. I'm not against it. But keep your mind open to the old built properties too. In South Florida, in general, the construction happened around 1980s. So, the house is still not that old. Like you feel like maybe you're coming from different states, you have a different things there. So the market is different. So you need to study the local market to decide. And one thing I'll tell you, I live in 1984, a constructed house. The exterior or the structure of this older houses are much, much better than the newer construction. If you go on exterior walls, that's a code actually in South Florida. But so the materials which are used in older properties, those are more the valuable materials than the right now, because little compromises are happening here and there when you go in a new constructions. So, and depends on the builders also, right? Like what kind of quality they are using in the material wise. So talking about the exterior, like that's what I was saying, it's a code because in South Florida the hurricanes are very common, so they have to have a like a cement, like a CBS construction. And one thing I'll tell you, when you buy a two-story house, you do make sure in a newer houses if they have the second floor CBS or not, because a lot of newer houses they do not have that. So in older houses, let's say in a Coral Springs two-story house you get, it's a 99% possibility you do have a CBS construction floor even in its two-story houses. So talking about the quality, basically it's pretty good if you are going in a older build. Again, I'm not saying you buy something like everything you need to do. Of course, if it's an older house and if they are selling around 700,000, definitely there is something inside. Like for example, some people renovate inside, like a floors, kitchen, bathrooms, and some people kind of put money outside, like a roof they've completely changed. The windows are impact windows. Those are the values too. So you need to compare apple to apple. Do not just see the cosmetic thing. That's my personal opinion. And I'm investor by myself. I do a lot of remodelings, and that's why I talk about the inside material things and try to explain even my clients like, okay, what are the advantages of going to those older built houses versus newer built houses. Anyways, I don't want to again divert myself to that topic. We can make another video of that, how we're talking about the Coral Spring itself. Those neighborhoods, as I told you, the larger lots, you can do whatever you want. That can be your Airbnb property in the future. You can have a single story houses. A lot many advantages you have in those neighborhoods. And plus the schools are great in Coral Springs. I mean, those are like, some schools are not like 8 to 10 like very higher ratings, but those are very reputed schools. Like I would still put this city in a good school zone. And again, you need to know where you are moving. Of course, every area has a pros and cons, so can't just judge blindly any of the cities, but you do, I mean, comparatively Coral Springs has a great schools and the great school culture also, I would say. Taxes are pretty low in Coral Springs, so that's also another advantage if you are buying houses, and your taxes will be much lower than some of the newer cities you can move. Again, don't take me wrong, I love the newer cities like West End, Parkland, Boca. Those are like my favorites. I have a tons of videos about those, and you can check out those videos on my channel. But every city has a pros and cons, and that's what I'm pointing out in this video, particularly about the Coral Springs neighborhoods. So if you want to know more about the area, if you want to know more about what you can find here, comment me below, or you can just ask for our consultations. You have a link in the description, or you can contact me directly. I'll see you in my next video.